So I did my research on grit by Angela Duckworth. So let's learn about Angela Duckworth. Who is Angela Duckworth? Angela Duckworth is a child of a Chinese immigrant who was slightly toxic as an individual. The father of Angela Duckworth, Yinka Lee, was a chemist and a research fellow at DuPont, and was a man obsessed with how smart his family was. Yinka also pretty often disencouraged Angela, saying, and I quote, "You're not smart and you're not a genius." Later in life, Angela wins the MacArthur Fellowship that is given to creative people and effective institutions committed to building a more just, verdant, and peaceful world. The award is also known as Genius Grant, which I thought was very ironic to the fact what her father was saying. She received the award on her theory that accomplishments are a result of passion and perseverance. So, what is grit? Duckworth researched on various fields of her research. And the internet definition for grit is a positive non-cognitive trait based on individuals' perseverance or effort combined with the passion for a particular long-term goal or an end state. The perseverance of effort promotes the overcoming of obstacles or challenges that lie on the path to accomplishment and serves as a driving force in the achievement realization. Angela's definition, on the other hand, of grit is a personal trait that consists of perseverance and passion. Perseverance means overcoming setbacks, hard works, and finishing things on time rather than giving up like most people do. Passion means long term adherence to a goal and maintaining the interest level. According to my research, there is a similar trait called conscientiousness, which is top five of the personality traits, which includes discipline and self-control. Grit expands on conscientiousness by including the retention of the same high order goals over extended periods of time. So Duckworth made some predictions on grit and how they are produced in various fields. First, she checked West Point dropouts. Second, Army Specialization Forces, 3 sales and graduate degrees and spelling bees. As a researcher, Duckworth investigated the new cadets and how they endured a 7-week boot camp, which was insanely intense. One out of the 20 people dropped out of the endurance test. So 5% dropped out during the test. 5%, including every single other person who dropped out. Uh, the score for the admission of West Point is based on SAT score, high school rank, and physical fitness. But Duckworth couldn't really predict who dropped out, who would drop out. Grit's predicted completion was a different peak compared to other prediction and was one standard deviation higher, and that more than 60% are likely to finish the training. So the other 40% are they might or they might not be. 42% of the candidates left the Army Specialization Forces, and there was a retention in the predicted grit. Sales part, grit predicted retention of sales people better than other common personality traits, such as conscientiousness or an extroverted personality. Someone with 1% standard deviation, higher grit showed 40% greater retention at the end of 6 months. Among all psychology degree majors, grit was associated with higher GPA, which resulted in higher SAT scores. In this case, grit was also associated with lower SAT scores among lower IQ students. And the students with higher grit will be selected for UPenn, which is also known as University of Pennsylvania. Graduates who graduated showed higher grit than the individuals that haven't. So, what I want to convey to management students is that grit had a little relation to IQ score, suggesting that it's an orthogonal factor in these students. Grit was able to predict success even after accounting for IQ, meaning it contributes to success above and beyond IQ. But the author doesn't really mention this. IQ is shown to be a stronger predictor of success, so therefore weakening the message. Talent and grit work together to increase achievement. Chapter 2. Is talent overrated? Grit is the important, but as a culture, many people are collectively focused on talents. Duckworth did some research on pianists based on skills and entrepreneurial investment and IQ. As research showed that Americans are most likely to point hard work as the key to success rather than talent, but when asked directly, people show bias towards internal talent. Research was done on two pianists, with one being a natural showing signs of talents and one being a striver with early signs of motivation. The research was done by two musicians to test a few factors. Talent-based individuals received higher rating compared to other professional, and there was a likelihood to succeed and the value to be employed in the future. But unfortunately, the effort-based pianist had to overcome the ability to overcome obstacles in his career. Study participants were given two profiles of entrepreneurs who invested. One being Charles, who was able to determine market talent and experienced entrepreneurs. Charles was able to get a little knowledge about the hard work. Talent-based entrepreneurs was given a high score for achievement potential and business pitch quality. Next study was based on IQ of the entrepreneurs, with the talent based on being 160 IQ and the other being the IQ of 130, but with 8 years of experience. Participants rated these in declining order of importance. Investor capital raised 30.5% IQ at 29%. Management skills increased by 24.6 percentile, leadership by 13%, and source of achievement by 10%. More people showed preference to natural entrepreneurial skills because he inevitably made $40,000. Talent is not really overrated because Duckworth also gives an example comparing Hillary and Bill Clinton, and that Bill is a naturally gifted politician, while Hillary, on the other hand, is a hard worker and is competent to fit the given role. But unfortunately, she was never able to rise to Bill's level because of his talent, supposed talent. Why do we obsess over talent? A prominent philosopher, Nietzsche, argued that we characterize other people as geniuses out of self-protective instinct. It's our fault for not measuring up to our own standards. They also argue that genius is not something that is magical and anyone can develop it if they try hard enough. So basically, that he's trying to say is that if talent is the major contributor to success, we shouldn't feel worse about ourselves than seeing high achievers. A quote you could use is that no matter how hard I worked, I would not be able to do what the other person does. So there's really no point in trying. People who think this way are basically are excluding themselves from putting all their effort, and they think basically fate controls them. You can train your grit, and it's a vital component to success. I found a good quote from a prominent individual named William James, who says that human individual lives are far within his limits. He possesses powers of various sorts which he habitually fails to use. Men the world over possess amounts of resources which only very exceptional individuals push to their extremes of use. Chapter 3. Why effort causes achievement. Based on all the information Angela provided in her book, here's a quasi-mathematical product on why effort matters so much. So in the graph below, there's a higher talent individual and there's a higher grit individual, and it's effort over achievement. So effort multiplied by talent equals skill. Effort multiplied by skill equals achievement. This basically implies that it doesn't matter if two people are equal in skill, but whoever puts in more effort will succeed. In other sense, if you're using skill and applying effort, then still the person working harder will succeed. To conclude this, effort factors in twice, if you noticed. It increases talent and it increases the application of the talent to achieve. Someone with lower talent can catch up in skill level by applying the same level of effort. Someone of lower talent can reach the same skill level but achieve more over time by applying with the same skill with more effort. The higher talent person starts with a lead. She expends some amount of effort but then stops early and plateaus. The lower talent, higher grade person starts off with a disadvantage and it takes a while for her to rev up. But once she does, she catches up and in achievement and exceeds of the higher talent person. So basically, I have an apology and an analogy, which is, for example, there's a potter who improves her skill by applying effort and trying to make pots. While she's improving the skill, she continues to make a lot of pots. This increasing output of achievement. A higher talent potter may start off work making better pots, but with lower effort, she will create fewer pots over time than a lower talent potter who works harder. This doesn't just apply to this field, but many others as well, like athletics, other stuff. So this is the grit I am skill that a person can use to conquer their fears and go ahead. Some being, I rarely overcome setbacks to conquer an important challenge. Setbacks discourage me often. I'm not a hard worker. I set goals but choose to pursue different ones. Some other ones are I finish wherever I begin. I never achieved a goal that took me years. I don't consider myself diligent. 3 pieces of advice that I give to management students. We as human beings strive for success in everything we do. Right? Honestly, it doesn't matter because if you follow your goal and trust your gut, success will automatically follow you. You don't need talent to succeed in life, but rather a guide to show you the path so you can succeed. Pursue goals no matter what life throws at you and come back twice as strong if you fail.